welcome back to Engineers Workshop. Weekend after Labor Day weekend, so didn't get a whole lot done. Went out of town for a couple days, but I did pick up, I'm going to call it a new tool day, but don't get too excited because the new tool is a pallet jack. And been wanting to get a pallet jack so I could start moving all the machines that were under, clustered under my overhead beam, and start getting them into corners of the shop, play a little bit of machine shop Tetris. So since I don't have too much for you today, I'll maybe throw in some odds and ends, video footage from other things that I bought and other machining projects that I did over the last year. So let's get over to this side of the building and check it out. What you're looking at, it's a little bit hard to tell, is basically a commercial shelf unit, about 9 feet wide, well, a little over 8 feet wide, and 7 feet high. Two racks, so it'll hold all the lathe parts. We'll get this together and put it in a drier part of the shop. But the item I've been wanting and waiting for a long time is a pallet jack. Nice one, 5,000 pound capacity. It has the nose wheels for rolling it up into pallets, but let's get this thing out and do a little machine shop Tetris. Couple of antique store finds. I always try to look for good machinist items, so it's the small cast iron LS Starrett level. Basically dead nuts on the granite table, which has been leveled with the Starrett 199 precision level. It's a little worn in the middle, and after looking at them on eBay, I overpaid a little bit. It was like 50 bucks or something like that, and I can pick them up for 25 or 30, but nice little item to have for setting up machines. This was a good one, number 707 twist drill machine screw gauge, brown and sharp. This one's in really nice shape. So this way I can take all of the little small drill bits where I can't read the size and size them up here to put them back in the drill index, or even if they are marked, I still can't read the size because they're so small. And it gives the tap drill sizes for all these common machine screws. I forgot that there were number 14s, the 1224 and the 1228. Sometimes those are hard to tell from quarter 20s. But then there's the number 14s, 1420 and 1424. So that was a good one to have. That's in very good shape, original sleeve. And then this one, I love the old zigzag folding rules. And this is a number 212. I couldn't read it. I think it's a Lufkin. And you may ask, why would I buy such a beat up old woodworking tool? Because I love these sliders. Well, the reason why is this one has a slider on the other end as well, and I've never seen one with 2 sliders. So I'm hoping to be able to use the number on this thing and start doing an eBay search and finding another one. It's a little bit better, but how do you even search for this on eBay without knowing what the number is? So that was a neat thing to find. I immediately snapped that up. So for my first move, let's talk about the blue elephant in the room. We'll move the Quincy compressor, which has been pretty much as far as I can drag it with the tractor, from the center of the barn to basically against that wall in front of my row of motors. The 2 pallet slots in the bottom of the skid don't fit the pallet jack. I mean, they were for a forklift to adjust to the proper width. They're offset quite a bit to the left. Believe that the left end is the the heavy end with the compressor. So let's just get this underneath. I'm going to get it to a point where the front end is poking through. That's pretty good. I think this is about 2,100 pounds. I have a couple of projectors in the floor that I've got to watch for, so I may try to swing and come through them like this. See how easily this moves. A little further. That is absolutely amazing how easy that moves. One of those unexpected jobs that comes up but then has to be done is the International 464 sprung a hydraulic leak. Ended up blowing 7 gallons of hydraulic oil all over the ground. I traced it to a line that had rubbed against the bottom of the crossover there and rubbed itself through, and I fixed that. Then I fired everything up and another line blew out here. Now that one had rubbed itself basically all the way through. Trying to find the area here. Well, that's it right there. So just through contact with something else, a bolt or the boss on here, rubbed itself all the way through, and that blew out. Then I had a leak on the return lines from the power steering unit, and these are the only oil. The oil that comes through here goes through the cooler up front, so it routes all of the oil through the oil cooler in front of the radiator. These are original. It's original paint from 1974. So got all those replaced with new fuel line from Napa, and the hydraulic lines, which had pretty heavy wall. Here's the wall of the hydraulic line, and you compare it to brake line from Napa. Those are both 3/8. But you can see the difference between the original and the brake line. My son bought a double flare tool and practiced flaring, and then we put couplings, and I bent the new lines to shape to fit in that tangled mess. Another coupling set over here. That was a factory coupling, and then the joints up here were where I had to take those two lines apart. Now I need to get some tie wraps on a couple places here so they don't rub together. There's a lot of places where they're contacting each other, and I want to try to minimize that so they don't rub through again. But it's all buttoned back together, no leaks, 7 gallons of hydraulic fluid in there, and ready to go back to work. Just have to get the seat on and the rest of these pieces. The Cincinnati grinder is going to take a little bit of juggling because the pallets, the forks don't fit at all under this. I'm going to have to get it up onto blocks and then see if I can figure out a way to get the pallet jack under it. I can very carefully get the rest of the things off of it that are in danger of falling. Let's go up a tad higher. The issue I had was everything that I've unloaded has been under this beam in a straight line across the shop. From the K&T in its little hut. Then we had the Cincinnati grinder. Lastly is my son's Spitfire, the small granite slab, the steam engine, and back here in this corner, still accessible to the hoist, the Monarch lathe. Now at least I've got the grinder out of that same aisle, so I'm going to spin that around and kind of park it where it is on a set of blocks for now until I decide a better place for it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, the first two pieces of equipment getting repositioned. Initially, the Cincinnati #2 tool and cutter grinder, the Quincy air compressor, courtesy of the secondhand BT Lifters pallet jack. Basically, by the way it handled this, I'm pretty confident that it can do the Miltronics, which is very vertical, but that's when I got to get moved really out of the way. So I will find a better home for this. I also need to set up the shelf for the all the parts for the Monarch, get those out away from the outside door and a little bit more accessible where I can get at them and paint them. So we'll just keep pecking away at this in between projects and make this shop more accessible. So thanks again for watching and subscribing to Engineers Workshop, and as always, stay safe.